It began with a tremendous shaking, unlike anything in living memory. Then came the water, destroying everything in its path. And afterwards, the devastation. Whole towns washed off the map.
So almost 12 years on, since March the 11th, Great East Japan earthquake and tsunami caused a disaster at the TEPCO Fukushima nuclear power plant. Even disaster is not yet under control, and the impact is severe. Many people were deprived of their homes, and over 30,000 people still displaced today. Decommissioning work at the nuclear power plant is facing many challenges, and the plan is to remove the melted debris are not yet made. So we'll talk a little bit more as we explore this place. But this is actually known as one of the famous, they call it the famous beach house, because back in March, when the earthquake hit, all the locals in this area all sheltered. So the people in this area all came to this beach house to shelter. So today we're going to walk around and make our way in and see what remains left of the old beach house. So as you can see from the distance is as close as I could get to the Fukushima power station. Work boots still left littering the beach. As you can see here, land that once thrived businesses, family homes, hotels is now completely flattened and been purified or cleaned as such. The ghostly buildings sat here now left on the beach is after the earthquake, everyone run to this place for safety, which, believe it or not, this old skeleton building saved hundreds of lives. Jam-packed March 2011, a ghostly memory. So we're just making our way around to the beach house. It is quite a windy day, so I'm testing a new mic setup. I do have a mask on because obviously it is still very overgrown and there's still a lot of like ropes up which basically tell you to stay out, because obviously the area hasn't been decontaminated yet. But yeah, just gonna have a little look. So as we're making our way through, you can still see workers' boots literally on the grounds. But it is on the beachfront because it is the beach house.
Right, so it says 11th of March 2011.
So imagine how scary it would have been back in March 2011 when a wave as tall as 40, I think it was 48 meters tall, come smashing up and went all over the grounds of this place. So it flooded all the grounds here. So the power station sits west of the beach house, as you can see. So these are like paddocks. A lot of that is where they've cleaned the land and they've put on fresh plants and stuff to grow. If you're not seeing roadblocks in Japan, you're seeing signs like this. It's basically saying it's difficult ahead to return, and it's to do with nuclear power workers ahead, emergency response. So yeah, we just pulled up some of the history, and so it's actually 2,500 people still missing to this day, which obviously they're saying that they could have been taken out to sea when the tsunami hit. There was over 6,000 dead. Dan, was it 6,000 dead?
19, oh, just under 20,000 dead.
Oh, you might say it, go on.
Yes, there was over 19,000 dead, 6,500 and some injured, 2,500 and so still missing. And this happened at 2:45 in the afternoon of the 11th of March 2011.
There you go, guys.
Oh, and the initial wave was 17 metres high.
Yeah, I messed up on that, guys. I said at the beginning 40 metres high. But
No, it was actually 46 feet high.
46 feet high, 17. That's where I've got the 40 odd metres in. So yeah, this place would have been the running zone, so people now would have been sort of running to get in here as quick as it can. And I do think it is pretty much the shape of the building as well, where the wave would have hit it and broke down the sides. Now look at the staircase now. This is very close to the nuclear plant, so I'd imagine the radiation is pretty high. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
It's probably the sea overall.
Oh, of course, yeah.
We're only reading 00.16.
That's where he was.
I think it's the fresh sea air blowing in.
I think that 0016 sort of average around here, isn't
well,
it?
around here, yeah, but even at home in the UK, you're looking at 00.02
Okay.
or 3. So it's still a considerable higher amount here.
Yes, we're slightly over the average, but it's not high for Fukushima. So obviously this place is destroyed, and you think this was 12 years ago this happened, and this place was the only surviving building in this literal area we're standing in. So you think like the sea would have crashed through the front of this place and literally destroyed it. But so many people survived in here as well, surprisingly. But all you can imagine how scary it would have been for the local people. No one was aware. I mean, it's a cold March. Obviously, this is quite famous for the surfers and that to come to this bit. But the whole ceiling's crashed down there. It's just the lights hanging down. Crazy, isn't it? We'll start heading up. So the views you've had here, obviously all the gardens of this place. It's all the gardens of this place. And these would have all been buildings all the way down. So they've kind of kept this place as a bit of a, I don't know if it's going to be refurbed. I feel like it deserves to. Because it saved a lot of people. That's what me and Dan were saying by the beach, that we're sitting here now and you never know like what's going to happen. So it just proves to you that the bottom part of this hotel took the huge beating of the wave. So a lot of them would have been up here now probably screaming, seeing this wave building up at such 50 feet tall. Oh. I just got off the flooring. That flooring. It does not feel safe. A real scary moment for the Japanese people. And my heart goes out to the families of the 2,500 people that are still, to this day, 12 years on, still not found. So it's actually quite a small hotel, or a surfer's hangout. You go in here, it's still got the original office bits there, computer sat on the desk, there's a printer just there. There's still documents sat here. And I see this a lot over here. There's a lot of torches in the buildings. Obviously, you imagine that when the... So they didn't just deal with the tsunami. You know, you're talking probably a few hours later, I think it was, that there was the wall broke and let all the water into the power station, which flooded the power station, which caused the reactor 2 to explode and chuck up loads of radiation into the air, which locals then were told to stay in their homes and shut all windows until the evacuation started of the area. And surprisingly, this, you know, even 12 years on, you still drive around Fukushima and it's got a very, such a sad feeling that you see so many properties still abandoned. You know, and I don't think Fukushima, I think it'll be a long time before Fukushima will ever be properly back. And I think some areas we were told it was at least 100 years before they could even be lived in ever again. And this is why a lot of people used to visit this famous building, because of the views. You could stand up here for hours, and well, I know I could. Imagine sitting up here now, sipping your drinks, and just looking out at that sea, breathing in the fresh air. You're back on the room. Any more history for me, Dan?
Well, I've not told you yet. Well,
What's he not told us?
so what happened was, it was I don't know if Dave's already told you this, but you know, they say bad things come in threes, don't they? That's what they say. And what happened was, obviously you had this magnitude 9.1 earthquake over in the Pacific Ocean, 72 kilometers east of here. The tsunami then comes 10-15 minutes afterwards, and then within 48 hours you then get told that you can't, if you survive, you can't look for your loved ones, because there is lethal doses of radiation leaking out from the reactor at Fukushima power plant, and you've got to now evacuate. So all these three major events happening within 48 hours, I can't even imagine what the people who survived were going through. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
At that point, me personally, if I was one of the people who stood here surviving, and I was looking out at this wasteland of water, knowing that my family was over there and had potentially been washed away and killed, I probably want to join them. I don't think I could stand here and just accept it. You know, it's just it's something that we could never fathom. We could never even comprehend that kind of loss, and it's just very saddening. Very, very saddening.
Yeah, I think, yeah, I'd struggle. I'd totally, man. So I'm guessing I wonder if these plants have all been put here for like to remember like the people, the buildings, I don't know.
I don't know, because obviously these fences wouldn't have stood up to the winter,
Nah.
so these are obviously new fences. I don't know if they represent plots of land from...
So just showing you the structure of this building. Look at this. This is so cool, isn't it? So I think there's cameras right there on the post. So we're gonna have to get out of here pretty quick now, I think.
I don't see a light on it though.
Oh fuck yeah, that's right. Should we head down?
I'm not sure what they are, I don't know if it's sensors or little cameras. So obviously we're not really meant to be here, so we're going to go.
Here comes the van. Shit. So this is where we evacuate, guys.
Well, it's quite down there, it's not coming closer.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the water, look.
Oh, he's reversing.
It's reversing, yeah.
Oh, maybe they think we're security. They could be people visiting.
Yeah, it's a good thing about a white car, isn't it?
Yeah.
The thing is, even though, you know, it's got barriers to say keep out, the Japanese government don't, it's not exactly frowned upon to come here.
No.
Because you're telling a story, and a story that needs to be told. And as long as you're respectful, I don't think they have an issue at all. Because I personally don't think it's taught enough.
No.
You know, I don't know if it's taught in schools in the UK. I know when I was in school I was taught about tsunamis and how they work, but obviously by the time this had happened, I left school. I just hope that it is taught in schools. And if it isn't, then we're here to educate, you know.
Should we have a look at them? See what they were?
What?
I'm not going to put my face around, I'm just going to see them a bit closer. So, yeah, we don't think it's security. It could even be one of the other tourists. I was actually talking to a Chinese tourist last night that actually came to Japan to try and get close to the power plant. Now, I had no idea why you'd want to get that close to a power plant. Okay, so these are actually cameras. I wouldn't have said they'd work anymore, I'm not sure. There's a lot of damp and condensation in there. But then, who knows? They could actually be keeping our eye out. So yeah, it's exactly what Dan was saying. And this is what I feel, and I do feel the pain. And I feel that's why, I don't know if it's the right word to put in this, but I actually felt a real, like, I don't know, I felt kind of depressed yesterday driving around Fukushima. And the only reason I think I did is because I was trying to picture my life or seeing my family go through what these did. And every property you pass, you're seeing loved ones' memories. And now they didn't choose to leave, they were told to leave. And obviously they had no choice to leave. Because what do you want everyone want to do? You want to protect your loved ones. So it's right what Dan said, the three things that happen. Not only the three things that happen, so not only are these Japanese people dealing with, we've just had a 9.9, I think it was, or a 9.1 earthquake that shook this country. They're then dealing with a wave nearly 50 feet high.
Yeah, they're on the roof.
And then after that, seeing loved ones.
What are they? The sensors?
Cameras.
The cameras.
But they got like they got condensation all in them, so I don't like.
Might be old, they've got condensation all over.
See, as Dan was saying, that then the wave 50 meters higher, then you've dealt with that, you survived that. The next minute, you've got a code red. We need to evacuate because of radiation waste being put up into the air. This is crazy. Let's head out. That's probably the worst way, isn't it? What's the other way like? Obviously this is buildings we wouldn't normally film, but it's because of the providence and of this place and what it actually meant to the Japanese people.
Well, it's not just that. It's like it's a part of the story. Isn't
That's
it?
it,
It's
exactly.
Like how it all, this is this was the fundamental ground zero.
Yeah.
And for people to like kind of grasp what happened, it's good to tell a story. And like I said, I think the story needs telling.
And I totally agree.
I think we're good at telling stories, so. And guys, we do this very respectfully. Obviously, we come here obviously to visit the abandoned buildings, but we also come here to document all this too, and to tell a story, and to remember those who did lose their lives here.
And I've seen they've clearly put on here as well the English around here, keep out. So, sorry, I'm just going to translate this plaque here. I could be wrong, but it just looks like the plaque's a bit more sort of modern than the rest of this building. Don't know if it's my signal. Oh, laying the foundations. Okay, so it's just a plaque of when the building was put up. I thought it might have been like a bit of a memorial plaque for the local people. And I've had a lot of people ask, that is Google Translate, so if you're ever going away on holiday and you can't read the menus, get yourself on Google Translate. I should have a sponsor really for that, but there you go.
Did you want to walk down that way or not?
Steve has.
Alright, okay.
So we're going to take the footpath along where obviously the power station is situated around, I believe, not far from here, around the corner. Obviously we're not going to be able to go too far. Yeah, so I think the building was cool. Obviously it holds a lot of history, and I know a lot of people that we've spoke, or people we've heard about, they come up here and pay the respect. They sit out the front, and you know, because it's saved people's lives, that building. And surprisingly, out of all the places that on the seafront, it was the only one that survived here. You can see another roadblock 10 there. Now, I don't know if this is the red bits down on the grass means red zone. High radiation levels probably. So yeah, don't want to get involved with them. You think this beautiful sight, and again it's this whole thing about man and people, like every one of us, or most of us, take a part in. You can still hear the birds chirping. So there's a roadblock just in front there. See the yellow things? It's terrible, isn't it, really, what like humanity are just doing to the planet. A lot of us take for granted stuff. We all want faster internet. We all want faster service. So it goes all the way along. You can see that obviously a lot of these breakers were put in after, but even these wouldn't, not a 50-metre wave. So another thriving spot of Japan. This is one of the most sort of iconic beaches in Fukushima, which probably would have been packed of families and loved ones. You know, surfers and everything would have come down here. And obviously to chill in the famous beach hotel, or a lot of people would have come down here to, it's It's called the Marine House Futaba. It's the name in Japanese on top of the building. But now look at it. Just another part of Fukushima's story, a ghost town. And that's what I'm finding. But it is also nice to see the Japanese are doing their job and they're clearing up this place very, very quickly. As Josh was saying a lot in the earlier videos, and Steve that visited here back 4 or 5 years ago, the streets now are more empty than they was where they were packed of buildings where they've been demolished, the ground's been dug and cleared. So yeah, let's head back. So heading back towards the car, just to give you a last coastal shot of how beautiful this would have been. You know, I need to get up some old pictures of the beach because a couple of people said that it was like a white sand. You know, there's just huge metal steel bits on there. The Marine House Futaba, just roped off, so you can't even go near it. Yeah, what a story. This place deserves to be cleared and preserved for what he did. As said, the local people all here heard about what's coming, during the earthquake, they all hid in this place. And it saved a lot of lives. Now you see signs like this, you know. I said about the translation of it in the beginning of the video, So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into Abandoned World Explorer. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. It's a very bright day, so I'm probably looking a bit squinty. My beard's probably crazy because I've had this mask on, and I should probably be wearing the mask still because this here is all still an affected zone. As you can see the ropes around the building. But I'm near the sea, so I'm hoping the sea air, yeah, well, we'll stop there anyway. I just want to say also, for the Japanese families, my heart is obviously with all of you for what you went through. 3 things that day, you know, earthquake, tsunami, and then the nuclear fallout. Like, I mean, you know, my heart does go to you all. So any families watching this from Japan, as I said, love you loads, and I'm so sorry. But yeah, I wouldn't normally film, as I said, an empty shell of a building, but this building has such an important role of what it did. And as I said, the plots of land around here, the people hid in this place, and it was luckily because the high-rise floors pretty much saved them. Sorry. So. But yeah, for all the missing people, I think it was over 2,500 people, you know. As I said, I couldn't think of anything worse to think my family had been washed out to sea or anything, so, you know, it really does, honestly, affects me here, walking around Fukushima, seeing all the empty properties and what it must have felt like that day. And even 12 years on, I know they're still affected by it. But yeah, love you loads, guys and girls. I'm going to stop the video here. Don't forget to follow us on all social medias. All links are in the description. I'm dropping a brand new Japanese brand new anime of me on a t-shirt. There's only going to be 50, so get yourself one of those, guys and girls. As I said, all the money goes to another trip, so any donations, again, all goes back into the trip. And without your help of last year, I wouldn't be in Japan this year. I can promise you that. So please follow, like and subscribe. Every week now for the next 6 weeks there's going to be a Japanese video. But yeah, let's get on to another episode. Love you loads, stay safe, see you soon.